Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Bunch of Nuts podcast. I'm Dan here with Big Cass. Ohio State, uh, solid effort. I mean, I wasn't super impressed. I wasn't disappointed. It was the most average September victory, I think, in recent Ohio State memory. Nothing's really bad, Cass. Nothing great. It was just a win, and Stroud looked good. Marvin Harrison Jr. looked great. I had no complaints really.
Hey, like we talked off air. The offense just scored too many times. I mean, they punted the ball. I think their starting offense had 20 minutes of possession time, and that offense was cooking. I mean, Jesse Mirko only had to punt a couple times. Uh, it just, I mean, the defense couldn't get enough 3 and outs for this offense to really get cooking, and that's okay. I think one of Stroud's best passes was when I think it was a Buka. He was why pocket collapsed. Stroud, got out of the pocket, and it looked like there for a second he was going to take off and run, and he found his receiver and wide open. And I think that was one of his best. That was probably his best throw all day.
That
And
was
that's
the one
I
he
mean,
took about 50, 60 yards.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, that in my opinion, that was his best throw all game because we've seen all the dime drops. We've seen it. Like we've seen those throws before to Marvin Harrison Jr., to Ibuka and stuff like that. I think the one where the pocket collapsed, he got out of the pocket, looked like he was going to run, found his man wide open. I mean, granted, I would have liked to seen if we were playing like Penn State or Wisconsin, what he would do, but it was Arkansas State. Wide receivers were able to get open.
No reason to run there. And that's a game you could pad the stats with the receivers. And if anything, DBs might cheat then towards the receiver, which in those big games he can run.
Yeah.
That's going to open it up for him, I think. If
I
he
think he's
saves
going.
it.
I think he's going to. I think
He
he's.
is.
And it's going to blow everybody out of the water. And we as much as we praise Zach Smith's podcast, and he doesn't think that Stroud has that killer instinct. I think he does. He's just waiting for that right moment. That right moment hasn't came up yet because
it wasn't needed against Notre Dame. It really wasn't.
And it wasn't obviously. It's not going to be needed this week against Toledo. It's not going to be needed against Arkansas State. Way it's sounding because Wisconsin dropped the ball. It may not be needed against Wisconsin. I mean, it's going to happen. And then, I mean, people are going to say, holy shit.
Like clockwork, too. I feel like I said this last year and the year before this, but I feel like every time we're about to play Wisconsin, they always drop a dumb game. Hence, enter Washington State. That game was ugly, and I'll give them credit. They beat Wisconsin. But I mean, classic Wisconsin, just dropping it a week or two before we play. Thanks, I guess, because ticket prices are going to be cheaper.
I mean, I was surprised that it was a night game.
Yeah,
I thought they were going to move it up to 3:30. But going back to Arkansas State, I mean, the only thing that I would like to critique, and it's going to be on defensive side of the ball, I'd like to see the defense force more turnovers. We haven't forced one yet this year. And our DBs, our corners are out on islands. Probably most likely Denzel Burke. Like, I don't know if that was just an off game that he had this week where he's like thinking complacency set in and we're playing Arkansas State, but he got work this Saturday. And that's kind of concerning. I mean, obviously we got teams coming up that don't throw the ball, as much or as well. I mean, honestly, Arkansas State might throw the ball better than Wisconsin. I mean, to be honest with you, but I think that concerns me a little bit. And for Christ's sakes, can we keep? I know it's Arkansas State, but can we keep a same six core of guys? I love Tyler Friday and Javante Jean-Baptiste, but they're not cutting the mustard. They really are. They're not getting any pressure on the quarterback. And it seems like whenever they are in the game, offensive Notre Dame and Arkansas State were able to move the ball.
I do feel like, I mean, I feel like I barely saw them against Notre Dame or the plays that they were in.
They were barely in.
Yeah, they were non-factors in those plays. But yeah, I do agree with you, Cass. let's see how they do against Toledo before we make any judgments.
Yeah.
I think we need to see them against Toledo because some players are more, might not be fast starters. Michael Hall Jr. is just a stud. He's like, I mean, he is Aaron Donald 2.0. Just the size and the way he plays, how violent. And he got dinged up, but he was able to kind of walk himself off the field. And like, you could tell, like, he was furious because he was walking himself off the field.
It looked like he just got the wind knocked out of him or something.
Yeah. The stat though is crazy because he already's at 5 tackle for losses, and Haskell Garrett led the team last year with 7. So he's already, he's well going to shatter that, our the team high from last year. And my buddy Mitch brought up a great point, Cass. He said, like, it's not that Michael Hall is a great player and he's obviously going to get a lot better. And I'm not critiquing his game, but I think a lot of his success right now is due to how good our ends are. Like Zach Harrison, JTT. I mean, even Sawyer, when he's rushing, we're always collapsing the pocket, like generating pressure off the edge. So like the quarterback always has to kind of usually step up where the pocket collapses, and Michael Hall is always right there. And that's great because he's in his position.
But Michael Hall has also made plays on his own.
Exactly.
I mean, he took that kid from Notre Dame back to junior high school. But my Lord, and I think teams are going to start seeing this whenever Jack Sawyer and JTT are lined up on the same side. There's a linebacker roaming free. Steel Chambers, Eichenberg did it last week against Notre Dame. Steel Chambers did it this week against Arkansas State.
And people are complaining about the turnovers, and those will come.
Oh yeah, they'll come. I would like to see it.
I'm more impressed that we've given up 1 touchdown in 2 full games. Only 22 points total. So we're averaging 11 points given up a game. And our defense, we're playing stout run defense. That's the key. I feel like no one's going to be able to come in and run the ball down our throats, which is a great feeling. We're basically telling teams that in order to beat Ohio State this year, you're going to have to get into a duel with CJ Stroud. You're going to have to beat us through the air. You're not going to be able to run the ball, keep Stroud off the field, and just kind of hope, you can bleed clock and then maybe force, a punt or two from us and then basically keep Stroud and them off the field. Like, we're basically trying to take away what Michigan and Oregon did to us last year. We're taking away that aspect because teams aren't able to run as successfully on us. Now, the passing, that's kind of a different story. I think, Denzel Burke's going to clean it up. That's a work in progress. I'm not too worried about that. And the turnovers will come. I will say Blackman, I thought, played a very good game. If you told Arkansas State, going into this, that you were going to cover, you were going to put up 12 points, have no turnovers, and, no one was really going to get injured, and, you're going to, get paid to go play Ohio State, a lot of money. I think a lot of Arkansas State fans have been like, wow, this is a great showing for our program. And honestly, like, it was a really good showing for the Sun Belt as a whole. Arkansas State I think is a pretty good team, and I think they're going to be pretty competitive in the Sun Belt when it's said and done. And by the way, their kicker was unreal. I mean, he did not miss. It's impressive that a guy, just came into Ohio State and made all 4 of his field goals and really kind of not kept Arkansas State in the game, but he was able to keep them competitive to where, they were staying honest. They were playing football. They weren't making crazy plays. They were trying to actually put together a good product on the field. And obviously I was at the game, so I didn't watch it on TV. I was actually in the stands, in the nosebleeds, but I thought both teams looked really well, and I will not be surprised if Arkansas State is they go to a bowl game and possibly win this year. That was my takeaway when watching this game.
Yeah, I think they're going to compete in the Sun Belt with Marshall and App State. I mean, hands down. Coastal Carolina's defense is terrible. I'm looking at the stats right now. Ohio State's their opponents are averaging 1.92 yards a carry against Ohio State, which is 13th in the country, which is shocking. But then again, like, how many? Like, I'm looking, like, it's only week 2. That's just going to get better. Like, that stat's going to get better.
That stat literally says, I mean, this is how you interpret the stat. You can run the ball 4 times against us, and you will come 2 yards short of getting a first down. That's literally what it said. You can hand the ball off 4 times, and you could not physically get a first down on our defense.
And by the way,
a great feeling.
By the way, they're only averaging 6.5 yards a pass, averaging.
Which, I mean, that we can clean up. And I'd like,
but 6.5 yards, that's not even a first down.
And like, we're playing for the most part. We gave up a couple big plays against Notre Dame. But I feel like for the most part, it's bend, don't break. And that's the key to a championship defense.
Ryan Day said that his presser yesterday, I believe. Jim Knowles didn't like that. Jim Knowles said, I don't like the fact that we're being called bend, don't break. Hey, more power to you, Jim, because your defense is playing better. If you want another bulletin board material by your own head coach, so be it. I'm all for it, man.
I love it. I'm really happy with the job that he's doing. And I mean, by the way, Trayvon Henderson had a quiet game where he just had a great day as well. 2 tutties, almost 100 yards. But I mean, like, we didn't have to use him that much. Only 10 carries, 87 yards.
I thought he had a 93-yard touchdown.
Same.
I mean,
I thought he was going to house that.
Let me tell you, I hope we got a new listener this week. There's this gentleman in front of me, and the first touchdown pass to Marvin Harrison. I was like, oh man. I was like, he was on the far side of the field, which on Dan's side, he was the near side of the field. So I was like, oh, he's got press coverage 1-on-1. Marvin Harris can be wide open for a touchdown. The guy looked at me like this. Like, are you kidding me? Like, so the next drive comes after we get a 3 and out. I saw, Ibuka wide open in the slot, going right to Ibuka on a drag route.
That was the Johnny Dixon play too from like Penn State.
Yeah.
I wasn't the exact play, but it reminded you of that play.
And he just like, the guy in front of me, he's just like, wow. And then I was like, okay, left guard. It was, right. That was the right guard and right tackle. I was like, there's a hole there. Henderson's going to cut it up and score a touchdown. Sure enough, that's what happened. This guy's like, how do you do this? I was like, I've watched a lot of football and I'm a high school broadcaster. So shout out to the guy. I didn't even get his name. He left so soon. But he was so impressed that, I was just calling things like, and it's not rocket science. I mean, if you really like, if you don't, even if you don't study it, you see it on the field. Like when you're live there, I could do it when I'm watching the game too on TV, but you really see it when you're. That's why I like CDEC, because I can analyze and see the whole thing.
I agree. No, I agree. Like if you're in CDEC, you get like the all 22. You see everything kind of develop a lot slower, but you see what's going to happen.
Absolutely. But yeah, going back, the defense, man, you're averaging 2 yards, we'll say 2 yards and 6 yards a pass and 2 yards a rush. I'll take that 2 weeks, especially when you had a pass heavy offense and a run heavy offense back-to-back weeks.
I'm happy with it. Offensive side of the ball, like you said, Marvin Harrison Jr., absolute stud. I thought he scored a 4 touchdown. Like I said, I was not watching on TV. I was in the stadium, so I didn't see the replay. I thought he crossed the goal line with the ball. Apparently not. I don't know what they ruled. I thought he should have 4 touchdowns. I said he was going to go for 200. You posted a picture saying he was going to go off. He did. Ibuka had a great day.
He had that focus, man.
Ibuka had a great day, I thought, too. Should have had his punt return was electrifying. That was the most ridiculous call I got called back, but I guess it's right because like you said pre-show, he did launch off the guy, which is a stupid thing to do. Why do that and try to?
You weren't even going to block it, Trotter.
Yeah.
And have you noticed though? I love the mentality that, and I think this is why Dallas Gant's over at Toledo right now, which is, by the way, we'll get more into that. He's the leading tackler for Toledo. Kayvon Pope, and who was the other one that just left? Those two that left last year, the linebackers.
Marcus Williamson.
Well, Marcus Williams is.
Well, Gant and Pope left.
Gant and Pope, yeah. Okay. I think now that we're seeing this, when you make a mistake, and possibly, because we even seen it out of Denzel Burke, you make a mistake, you're gone. After that launch, I didn't see Toledo Mitchell. I didn't even see him when they brought the second team linebackers out.
Yeah, it's. I mean, Josh Proctor missed a tackle, and they benched him. Almost.
I mean, he started this week, and he had a decent game.
He did. No, he played fine, but it's just Knowles has a very short string, which is I get it. You got to set a standard and expectation. I hope if he's gonna do that, he does that
now.
Yeah, and he keeps on doing it, and he doesn't pick favorites. He has to do that to everyone.
And the thing too is he has to, and I'm sure this is happening when these guys get benched. I'm sure they're getting coached.
Oh yeah.
And it's not like Al Washington with Kayvon Pope arguing on the sidelines. I guarantee it's not like that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean I completely agree. I will say too, Cass, Cade Stover again. Not a crazy day, but 2 catches, 40 yards. Had that big catch in I believe the first drive. It was like 30 something yarder,
something like that,
35 yarder. He's slowly. If you run the numbers, he's slowly on pace for about.
He's outbeating Jeremy Ruckert right now.
Yeah, like about 30 catches, around 500 yards on the season, depending on how many games he plays. That's a solid season from a tight end. So he's really impressing me so far.
And let me tell you, this week I get to work for Fox, so I won't be able to go up to the team wall. Which, by the way, my wife said she's going to take video and send it to you, so beware for that.
Wow.
Because she's going to the game. But Cade Stover is a man's man. The dude can't. Well, he will knock the. He'll knock you. Yeah, he would knock you back to second grade. I mean, and just the way when he's walking to the focus he has, man, and it's got to be the haircut too. I mean, Cade Stover slowly turning into one of my favorite players.
I agree. I mean, it was just a good day. I had no complaints really. It would be nice if we covered. I guess
it would have. We would have if Toledo Mitchell didn't launch himself.
It was. I mean, it was a perfect day to go to a game because the tickets were cheap, weather was beautiful, and then honestly, I'm gonna say I left like early fourth quarter.
I stayed
because I wanted to get home and watch all the other games. I left early. I'm not even afraid to say that I did leave early. I wanted to see the Texas Alabama game, and you get home and you got to watch one of the craziest days of college football.
Let me tell you, Buckeye Nation starts showing up before. 25 minutes before kickoff, and South stands are completely empty.
Student section doesn't. They kind of mosey on in. It takes them like halfway through the first quarter.
Get with it.
It's fine. It's Arkansas State. I'm not like it. It should have been obviously more busy, I thought, or more packed, but
over 100,000.
Yeah, it filled in nicely at the end. It's a noon game. They were out late.
And if you're going to a game, and I know it's Arkansas State, these are for the 2 Karens that sat right next to me. Don't talk about life problems during the whole game. And then you ask people around you what you missed.
Yeah, I mean,
can you move your phone? These are my season tickets. Oh, yeah. Do you see so-and-so at work? Blah, 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 blah. So-and-so at work. Oh, what did I miss?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we're up big. I guess we could go watch the rest of the game at the tailgate. Why'd you walk in a stadium? I could have had more room.
Yeah. Well, it's a ticket. It goes to the university. It pays. So it can't really say anything there, but I guess moving on. We got Toledo on what is it? Saturday.
Wait, hold up. Before let's talk about this crazy weekend college football.
All right, yeah, let's do it. Which one do you want to start?
Well, Texas, you absolutely are not back, but you got screwed. You got screwed big time. That was a safety in the end zone on Bryce Young. His elbow was completely down. And it should have, even if he wasn't down, it was still intentional grounding that wouldn't have been called, that should have been called, which would have been a safety as well.
somehow is
And-
roughing the passer.
Yeah. Like,
What?
and yeah, they were looking at targeting. Okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then the face mask, blatant face mask. Quinn Ewers is now out for 6 weeks. I guarantee it. People are like, oh, Texas good, blah, blah, blah. They're going to lose 3 or 4 more games because Quinn Ewers is hurt.
Watch them lose this week to what was it, UTSA, the Roadrunners. I could see it happening because they just had
I could see it happening too, but they
coming
won't.
off a big game like this. I'm
But
telling
they will
you,
lose. They will lose to Oklahoma. They will lose. You know, Baylor lost to BYU. Baylor losing to BYU is not an upset. I don't care what anybody says. It's not that big of an upset.
it wasn't, and it was kind of unfair that game was on till like 3 a.m. because I was in bed watching that game until like halftime, and I woke up and literally my TV was just a blank screen because I just passed out to it, and I was kicking myself because I missed an insane game of just field goal kickers missing field goals. It was like the Browns the Bengals Steelers game.
Shut up. But I mean, they're going to lose to Baylor. They'll lose to Oklahoma, and I think they'll lose. I think they'll lose one more. They'll get upset by Kansas State. I will predict that right now. Bama, they look bad. I mean, they're not bad.
They're beatable.
They're
They have
very,
flaws.
very beatable. Bryce Young has no weapons. No. And come on, Heisman moment. Dude ran a 20-yard just to set up a field goal. Okay, that's great.
Ryan Watts should have tackled him.
Yeah. But they also missed a blatant hold.
That's Kerry Combs' fault.
Yeah. They also missed.
Happy birthday, Coach Combs, by the way. Belated birthday.
They missed a blatant hold on that play. How's that a Heisman moment? And the dude went like 21 of 39 for 212 yards. How's that a Heisman moment game?
I mean, Cass, you do look at their schedule coming up to Bama. They got not the next 2 weeks because they got Louisiana Monroe and Vanderbilt, but then they got Arkansas, A&M,
Tennessee,
and then Mississippi State. I guarantee. I don't want to guarantee it, but they're gonna lose one of those. In my heart, they'll lose one of those.
I think it's Tennessee. Hendon Hooker keeps getting better and better, and they got the Vols in Tennessee. I really wish that was a Buckeye bye week because I would make the 6-hour trip to Neyland just to watch that game.
I'm low key. That's a game I wanted to go to so bad this year, but I can't because it's my wedding shower. So I have to be in New York. And I literally told my fiance, I'm like, she's like, oh, it's a Buckeye bye week. And I was like, yeah, it is. But I'm like, but Bama, Tennessee's going to be on. And she's just like, shut up. And I was like, I know. But
usually
that game's
usually wedding showers are just for the bride anyway. So
yeah, that game will be watched for sure that week.
I mean, not only that, I think Bama's defense is pretty good, but they're going to struggle. I think Bama has now. Knock on wood. Nick Saban, you know, after piss poor performance, watch for Bama. I mean, we've seen this script before. So and then go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say our friends to the southwest in Boone, North Carolina, Appalachian State,
where college game day is gonna be at.
Couldn't have happened to a better program. I'm happy for them. You know, they've come a long way, but always one of my favorite programs in my heart. But Appalachian State does it again. Cass takes down A&M. Cam Peoples, power back, monster day, over 100 yards. What were your thoughts on the game?
I didn't watch it, but I loved it.
I've watched so much App State football this year between the North Carolina game and then the A&M game.
I'm marking this down right now. I know I picked Houston to make a New Year's Six bowl, but Houston lost this week. Mark my words, Appalachian State, with their one loss, is going to a New Year's Six bowl.
I think Appalachian State should just be always the 12th team in the college football playoff when it expands to 12. Because I just want to see them against the number 1 seed every year and just see how they do. Because they would pull off an upset every 15 years. There's no doubt in my mind that Appalachian State would be the Cinderella killer in the college football playoff.
And they ain't their only Cinderella killer. By the way, my buddy texted me in Huntington, West Virginia, Marshall versus Appalachian State. I don't know the complete date, but he's really thinking about going. He found tickets as low as $25. Huntington, West Virginia.
I'm pulling that up. That might be a Bunch of Nuts podcast road trip. I'm not even kidding. That Marshall, Appalachian State, November 12th.
That's Indiana. I might be working Fox. That's an Indiana game.
Yeah. They have a wild schedule, Appalachian State. They play at some wonky places, Cass. They at A&M, they play at where else? Marshall and Coastal Carolina, then Georgia Southern.
So they get to go play in the snow, and then the very next week they get to go play on the beach.
And then they play old Turner Field.
But yeah, Appalachian State, and then Marshall going up to South Bend, knocking off the Irish. Buckner is out for probably the season. He's got to undergo surgery. Marcus Freeman, man, 0-3. I know a lot of people aren't counting that bowl game. 0-3 in his first start. I bet them Irish. I would like to get on some Irish message boards just to hear what they're saying about Marcus Freeman.
Probably not nice things.
I think he was in over his head, and I think he should have came to Columbus with Jim Knowles.
He messed up,
and we could have had Marcus Freeman and Jim Knowles this year.
I honestly don't think that makes the defense that much better. I don't know. I don't know. Adding Marcus Freeman at this point would have made it much better because we're so good. I don't know how much better it can get from here. I don't know what else. I think
Marcus Freeman's a hell of a coordinator.
Yeah, look, Jim Knowles has done everything I've expected him to. It's hilarious, I think, though, Cass, because the first 3 games are it's the 3 ghosts of Christmas or whatever. What is it ever watch that Christmas movie with
Christmas Carol?
The Christmas, with Scrooge. What is it? The 3 ghosts of Christmas.
Yeah,
it's Notre Dame,
past, present, and future.
Yeah, it's Notre Dame. Our past linebackers Laurinaitis,
Marcus Freeman.
They're coaching there
with Al Washington there.
Present, it's we go to Arkansas State, and it's Brian Snead, and then future, it's Toledo, and then Dallas Gant. It's just all these former Ohio State ties the first 3 weeks. So it's just interesting how that kind of started the season.
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting. When you talk about Georgia Southern, all the Sun Belt, what a crazy weekend with the Sun Belt. Georgia Southern goes into Lincoln, beats, and Scott Frost loses his job.
Is Urban? Are we really? Is Urban really? I don't think Urban.
Why would he do that?
Why would I? I think he's I don't think he would.
Not Nebraska. Not in Nebraska.
No, I
love Urban, but I think college football passed him. I really do. I don't think his offense would work in college football anymore.
You see Nebraska trying to steal a guy. I could see Dabo in Nebraska.
Dabo just signed a big deal at Clemson.
I know.
Nebraska.
It's probably going to be Matt Campbell.
It's going to be Matt Campbell.
That's what I would bet. Yeah.
Which is perfect.
It honestly is a great fit.
Or if Bill O'Brien turns it around, Bill O'Brien.
I think they should get the Coastal Carolina coach. or the App State coach.
Butch Jones from Arkansas State.
Also a choice. Let's be honest. I love our fellow the Cornhuskers, but just because
we really like corn,
and we like corn, but like obviously I like the Cornhusker faithful
Nebraska does not have the juice though.
because of COVID. Yeah, just because how like they tried to save the season during COVID, and they're in a bad spot. I don't know what to offer them.
Like I said, Nebraska does not have the juice.
It's just a tough. It's not.
You know what they ought to do? You know what they ought to do is hire the kid that did "I Really Like Corn" song on TikTok. Like
Nebraska's problem is they need to make Nebraska more fun. Like in order to attract big time recruits and everything, you got to make your destination desirable. There's just nothing there. I feel like that's desirable. Like
just a bunch of Cade Stovers.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just get Cade Stover to coach him. Like,
or get the little kid that really loves corn.
Yeah,
from TikTok. I mean,
yeah, the stupid corn kid. Sick of that.
So am I. Oh, but hey, Wisconsin dropped the ball like we already talked about. I mean, a lot of upsets this week, and we'll get more into see what we can have for upsets this week later on. But we do have Toledo this week. Toledo's coach said, "Don't root for Ohio State, Toledo fans. Root for Toledo."
So yeah, Toledo.
That's like the dumbest comment I've ever.
Head coach Jason Candle. They play in Toledo, Ohio, Mountain West. Well, not Mac West, not Mountain West. Oh my gosh, the Mac West, Toledo, Ohio, Glass Bowl, 26,000. They're coming to Ohio Stadium, Cass.
One of the most respectful MAC programs.
They are. Their offensive scheme is the spread. Their defensive scheme is a 4-2-5. They are 2-0. They haven't played a soul though. I'd like to state they're 2-0, and they've played. It was like
Heidelberg and Capital.
It was long. It was Long Island University and UMass. Close. But I mean, basically, yeah, Heidelberg and Capital.
I mean, UMass is a FBS school, and they just are bad. Like you get on Xbox 360. If you take UMass to a national championship and win, you get an achievement. Like, I mean, come on, like.
I think this game, Cass, we're going to be able to force our first turnover. Quarterback for Toledo is Daquan Finn. Hopefully I said it. I'm terrible with names. He has 138 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns on the season, 3 passing touchdowns, a pick. Receivers don't really scare me. Jerwan Newton is their number 1 guy. But their receivers aren't like, I don't know. They're like small, crafty guys. So, I mean, maybe that is a problem because Champ Flemings for Arkansas State kind of torched us and he was 5'5". But they don't really scare me for the most part. Tight end's all right. Jamal Turner. He's a senior. He's 6'6". He could be kind of a problem, I guess. Not really. I mean, there's no reason Ohio State shouldn't win this game. I'm curious to see what Dallas Gant does. Honestly, he's the leading tackler, like you said. He's a starting middle linebacker. He's going to play with some passion. We'll probably make a big play or two. I wouldn't be shocked. It'll be like Keandre Jones that one year. But Ohio State, I think, just obviously obliterates them. We
34-point favorite.
Yeah, this should not be that much of a contest.
I agree. Don't know much about Toledo, like you said, until what you just said. I think we do. This would be our first game that we cover. I don't think Toledo may score 1 or 2 touchdowns, if they even score a touchdown. They might get a field goal, but I don't see them scoring.
I mean, their field goal kicker, he is 5 for 5 on the year. He's 2 for 2 from 40.
He's due for a miss.
11 for 11 extra points. On the defensive side of the ball, it's just really Dallas Gant, honestly. They have 2 sacks. They're not going to generate a ton of – their defense doesn't look that good. I'm just going to be completely honest. They generated 2 sacks in 2 games total, 1 interception. It's not good competition. So I think we're going to torch them.
Yeah, I'm already giving a keys to victory and score prediction. Keys of victory, force a turnover. I just want to see a force a turnover. Keep playing lights out on defense, and offensively, just keep doing your thing and don't turn the ball over. And I'm going to go out on a limb and to say the Buckeyes are going to win 49-9.
That's an interesting one. I'm going to say 50. Hold on. What's 7 times 7? 52-6. 52-6. Buckeyes win. My key to victory. I always have to do the math on the calculator as I'm like generating it. 52-6. Keys to victory. On offense, just keep it simple. Whatever works. Just let's not overthink it. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is cooking, give him the rock. If Emeka Ibuka's cooking, give him the rock. If Cade Stover's getting one-on-one matchups and eating, give him the rock. Like
if Julian Fleming's cooking, give him the rock.
Yeah.
JSN.
Yeah. And then 2, just stay healthy. Those are my 2 keys. Yeah. Show up. It's Toledo. Get off the bus.
Get off the bus. Get off the bus. That's a short. I mean, that's a short preview. Next week we get to preview Wisconsin and a blackout. ABC.
Yeah. Wisconsin will obviously be a more in-depth preview. It's Toledo. If we're sitting there and it's halftime, this game, we're losing, this game's tied. There's no words. No one would have predicted that. No one would have analyzed that. No one would have said, "Oh, that was happening." It's just not really feasible. And yeah, it's Toledo. So if we don't win this game by the spread, I'm gonna have some questions.
Even if we don't win by the spread, but we win by 3, 4, 5 touchdowns. I mean, well, 5 touchdowns is a spread. I'm sorry.
I will have some questions if we don't cover again.
If we win by 30 or more points, I mean, but don't cover, I mean, I'm not going to be mad. Like, I really ain't. I really don't care about the spread and stuff like that. And like people are like, "Oh, the Notre Dame losing is going to hurt us." No, just win, and everything will fall right into place.
I do agree. I don't think Notre Dame losing is gonna. I was laughing when Notre Dame lost. Honestly,
I did too.
I thought it was the funniest thing because I always knew in my heart they were frauds, and it's a shame because Ohio State. It's so stupid because when an SEC team plays a top 10 opponent, they always claim it's a top 10, even if they drop out. Well, Ohio State's going to get dinged for this because Notre Dame was not a top 10 team. I never thought they were a top 10 team. They're going to lose. It's going to ding us, but the people have to understand that Ohio State faced Notre Dame at their peak because it was the first game of the season. So we got them when they're probably going to be at their healthiest, and they're already they're losing their quarterback. They have an injury problem there. They're not going to be good. But they need to also take into account that we played them at probably their height of the season, and it's going to be all downhill. So crack open a Bud Light, Mr. Delusional Irish fan, because you'll be back to number 3 next year. And that's all I got to say about that.
Okay. All right, it's time for the annual or weekly pickup. Dan, do you want to give us our results from last week?
You beat me by 1. He was waiting. He was waiting to just brag. We did the tally. I went 4-5. Cass went 5-4. The UConn covering was what settled it because UConn did not cover. Did not even come close.
And I had USC covering.
Yeah, so that was the difference right there.
Wait, did even USC cover?
Yeah, easily. I'm pretty sure they did. Unless it was a backdoor. When I was watching that game, that was a blowout, though. There's no way USC didn't.
Oh, yeah, 41-28. They were a 9-point favorite.
Yeah. All
right, this week, I only put this game on the list because the cold uniforms that Florida State going to wear. Florida State's a 2.5-point favorite over Louisville at Louisville Friday night. Louisville's not good. Louisville's not good. I got Florida State covering.
Yeah, I feel like this is Florida State has shown me a lot. I mean, 2-0, beat LSU, Duquesne. Absolutely. And they have a bye week to prepare for this after that LSU game. Definitely, I'd take Florida State there.
You see their uniforms? All white.
I have not, but you only gotta sell me on this. Cass, I like to run it back.
By the way, Toledo, Ohio State's a 30. It's a 32 point.
Gotcha. I like to run it back for my wild card pick. I'm gonna take UConn covering against that team up north, 47.5.
I'm writing that down. I'm not going to do my wild card yet.
47.5. They're going to cover against that team up north. It's just.
Do I put plus 47 on that for you?
Yeah, UConn plus 47.5. Okay. No, I like the alternate line where UConn wins by 47.5 against that. How fun? Well, the odds on that must be incredible.
Yeah. All right. Saturday at noon on ESPN. Georgia goes into South Carolina. Georgia's a 24-point favorite.
I got South Carolina covering this.
I do too. Because I'm waiting for that moment for Georgia to lay an egg in a game.
I just think, well, South Carolina is one of those programs that is not afraid of Georgia. They've beaten them. They've beaten a a couple years ago, they beat Georgia. I'm pretty sure a highly ranked Georgia team in week 3. Yep. And this South Carolina, this is probably one of the best South Carolina teams they've had in a while. They obviously just lost to Arkansas. But they put up 30 points against Arkansas. It wasn't close, but they have an offense, South Carolina. So I think, I think they cover. I really do.
I do too.
What's the next one?
This is a pick 'em.
Okay.
Purdue travels to the Carrier Dome. It's dead even. I have Purdue, by the way.
I'm analyzing this. I'm just looking at the defenses. Oh man, this is tough. I'm gonna go with Syracuse because it's at home. I'll go with Cuse. Yeah, I'll go with Cuse there.
All right, I got my wild card.
I mean, it's about dead even, those teams. I'm not even kidding.
I have my wild card. I'm going California covering against Notre Dame at 10.5.
They might, if the California beats Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman's done. I'm not even kidding. If they might fire him if they lose to California. I know they had a great recruiting class, but the man, if you can't win the gimmies at Notre Dame, you're done.
All right, couple 3:30 games here. BYU travels to Autzen Stadium to take on Oregon. Oregon's a 3.5 point favorite. I think Oregon's wanting to bounce back, but I like the Cougars. I like the Cougars go on the road and knock off Oregon.
This is such a tough one because this is so volatile because you just saw BYU beat a highly ranked Baylor team. You also saw Oregon just lose to a Georgia team. I'm gonna go with Oregon. I'll go with Oregon covering here. I think I got Oregon in this one.
All right, Penn State travels to Auburn. Penn State's a 3-point favorite. I got Penn State outright.
I got Auburn because I just feel like it's that home advantage in the SEC. I think Auburn. I mean, they're 2-0 as well. It's going to be a good game, but I think that home advantage swings it for Auburn. I really do, and I think that's one that they walk away with.
All right. So far, the last 3 games we've been different on. All right. We got 2 more. I think we had 2 more. Or is it 1 more?
We can do 2 more for sure. We got not college game day, but it's the ABC game. Number 11 Michigan State at Washington, 7:30.
Is Fowler and Herbie doing that?
Yeah, it's the Fowler and Herbie. It should be
Washington's 3.5-point favorite.
Michael Penix Jr.
I'm going with Washington with the upset. It's Washington at home.
I mean, I agree, Cass. And it's not even that. It's just like you look at it. I know they did only play Portland and Kent State, so it's not a great sample. But Washington has the sixth best offense so far in total yards, and the 28th best defense in total yards. Michigan State is at 61st offense and 77th offense. 77th defense. This is a home game for Washington, and they have Penix Jr. as their quarterback, who I believe has had some success against Sparty. So yeah, I would say Washington in this one for sure. It pains me to fade the Big Ten. I feel like I've been picking against the Big Ten this week.
All right, the last one, 9:00. Miami at A&M. A&M's a 5-point favorite. The U. Yeah, I'm taking Miami there, which of course they're gonna let me down. They always do this, Cass. I want to believe in the U, but they're gonna rip my soul out. So Florida State, Louisville, I threw that in there because just for the uniforms. Friday night, we both got Florida State. We both have South Carolina covering against Georgia. The Pick'em game. Syracuse, you have Syracuse. I have Purdue. You have Oregon. I have BYU. I have Penn State. You have Auburn. We both have Washington. We both have Miami. And then our wild cards, I have Cal covering against Notre Dame at 10.5. You have UConn covering with 47.5.
I would actually like to amend that. Get rid of UConn. Scratch that. I actually have something else I would like to go with if this is okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Give me Hawaii, because this is a pick'em. Hawaii pick'em against Duquesne. It's kicks off at 12 a.m. So it's in Hawaii. I have Hawaii getting the first win of the season over Duquesne. That's what I got. Screw the UConn, because that one's just stupid. I don't think they would cover, honestly.
I am texting you these right now.
I have UConn as my watch it game. UConn, Michigan, that's my keep your eye on it.
Keep your eye on
That's it. Just keep your eye on it.
My keep your eye on it is Appalachian State and Troy. Just because we like watching Appalachian State.
That is on ESPN Plus at 3:30, and I am probably gonna proudly tune into that. I love Appalachian State. They have a beautiful stadium. They beat Michigan. Great place.
I'm texting you these right now so I don't forget. Oh, man. That's all I have on the docket today.
That's all I got. I like to say Broncos did not get it done.
Bengals did not get it done.
I feel bad. That was Cass. Any consolation? Joe Burrow, I thought, had a pretty good game for like how much adversity he faced. That like to basically win the game twice to only have it screwed up by your special teams long snapper.
We also turned the ball over 4 times.
Yeah, but the couple of turnovers were really not his fault. It was just bad offensive line play. It wasn't.
By the way, Pittsburgh came out with they rushed 6 against 5 because Bengals decided they're not going to keep a backer or a tight end to block. And by the way, I like TJ Watt as a player and stuff like that, but karma is on you for tearing your pec because you ripped Lowell Collins' helmet off.
Aaron Donald didn't tear his pec.
And then my thing is Minka Fitzpatrick takes headshots 3 times and they wait to the final one when it matters the most, honestly, to call a penalty. So I was just frustrated with the game. But you know what? We were obviously the better team. We just not on the scoreboard. It sucked. It really did.
I will say I am excited this weekend. I'm not going to Ohio State game because I had to pick. Well, more my fiance wanted. We're going to Browns Jets. It's going to be an absolutely terrible game, but we are going to because she is a Jets fan.
Don't wear Jets. I want you guys to be safe. Just wear Ohio State and be nice.
I'm not worried. I'm wearing a Geno Smith Jets jersey because it's going to be interesting. I got no beef with Browns fans. That will be fine. But yeah, I mean, that's all I really got this week. Anything else?
I will be going to the Ohio State game. Well, I'm working for Fox this week. My wife is going to the game. If you are going to the game, have fun, cheer loud, and don't cheer for Toledo. Even if you went to Toledo, but you root for Ohio State, don't cheer for Toledo.
Yeah, have fun, but don't cheer for the Rockets. But as always, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Bunch of Nuts podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff on YouTube. So the algorithm and all that crazy things. But as always, go Bucks.
Go Bucks.